It's Wednesday, my dudes. Sorry for not streaming Monday. I got so sick. I went live on alt and like talked a little, but I don't know. I just was like, ugh. And then did alt yesterday, so we're back today. You sound sick, nasty. Thank you. I'm not in any way ill. What did happen though, I have a resulting symptom that sucks ass, especially as a streamer. No, I was saying I'm not sick. I'm not. So I threw up a lot the first day I was sick, right? I threw up a ton. And I threw up and like fell asleep next to everything. You know, I just like kind of like sat there and like passed out. I was just so tired. And when I say I threw up, I don't mean like a little bit. I mean like it was a solid like hour of just nonstop like heaving, throwing up, that kind of thing. And I fell asleep for a bit. I managed to like rinse my mouth, but it's not the same as like doing everything, you know what I mean? So now the left side of my tongue is like super irritated. Super fucking irritated. Everything else is fine. But the left side of my tongue is irritated. So when I eat, when I drink, like every time my tongue has to move, basically, I just feel it like it just fucking hurts. It just hurts. So I can't talk because talking, I'm not like irritating it further, really. So you make sure you don't brush till your mouth pH is back to normal after that. Yeah. You have to rinse with water a lot to try and get the pH to normal. Yeah, if you brush immediately, sometimes it's you actually do more damage. So you have to try to like bring the pH back to a better spot and then do it. But either way, like I rinsed my mouth and stuff, but I just passed out. So I was just exhausted. But yeah, my job is talking, so whoops. Who made you sick? No, nobody made me sick. Nobody made me sick. It's just me. It's just a condition I've got. And it doesn't rear its head too often, especially in this severity. It's like very rare that I have this kind of issue with it, but you know, it got me this time. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I partially digested my tongue. It's gonna fall out of my mouth. It's gonna fall apart and fall out of my mouth. Just half of it's gonna crumble off. Anyway, that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna be talking, but I might just stop talking here and there for a couple seconds or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, we're gonna chat and then I'm gonna game. And then after that, I have a collab. So we're gonna game some more. I conned somebody into playing Heroes of Hammerwatch 2. Which I should update. I'm gonna press the update button. So if you hear Steam doo-doo sound, that's me. Just talk less. I don't know if you understand how difficult that is for me. When I'm so fun fact, when I don't stream, I like don't talk much. My mom used to call me the quiet one of my siblings, which is crazy. But when I'm on stream, I feel the need to talk. I've just trained myself to do that. So my default when streaming is to keep up the stream of words. You know? So it's so hard for me to say less. It's so hard. Anyway, I gotta keep drinking water constantly just to make sure I'm like not dying. I'm trying to finish my little bits of food too. I thought I would finish this while I was on starting soon. But it hurts to eat. So it's taking me a minute. I'm almost done. No, we're not streaming Tiny Glade. We saw all the content the game had to offer. The game was good, but I'm not playing it on main. Wonderful, wonderful game, but like boring as fuck to stream if I'm trying to make it entertaining. If I'm just hanging out and I'm just playing it, I'll play it on alt to have a great time, but like, you know. You know what I mean. I was thinking, trying to think of what games have a lot going on that we could play where I can maybe talk a little less. And honestly, I think I should just open Kingdom Come Deliverance. I think it's time. There are things about that game that are so Oblivion coded that make me really want to play it. So I think that might be a good one. Yeah, the second one, the new one. Ain't no way they're starting to release a second one and then I play the first one on stream that within that week. So I haven't played the first one, but I watched someone else play a lot of it. I wasn't really following what was going on in the story very much, but I enjoyed watching what I did, so. But yeah, it looks good. Yeah, and it's heavily voice acted, which is great. Combat threw you off? I wonder what it felt like. I didn't play it again, so I didn't get to feel the combat. But it looks like an Elder Scrolls game, so you know I'm down for that shit. Heavy and slow. In games like that makes sense though, so I think that's fine. That sounds fine at least. Might even be funny being slower like that. But we'll see. Hold on, let me answer one message and then we're good. I did see the Wilds trailer, yeah. You don't even have to ask if I'm gonna play that game when it comes out. Wilds, I'm Monster Hunter's Strongest Warrior, okay? We're gonna play Wilds when it comes out. We're probably gonna play it for an entire week, at least. I implore you all to show up to the stream where I play it day one. Should be that Friday, the 28th, okay? Right. Okay. I'm trying to help someone with their model. A friend who is not used to VTubing is asking me questions about it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna be off screen now. Sorry, I had to do two things. Anyway. Oh, I was gonna say, where's the chat? There it goes. Will Girls FC Mountain collabs reappear? There will be some measure of something I did. We've been talking to each other the whole time in our Discord about the game coming out. Surprisingly, I wasn't sure if Nina would like really want to play it, because she was always someone who liked Monster Hunter a little bit, but didn't like, you know, want to know life it. But she said first the other day, she was like, "Ladies, it's coming out soon." And I was like, ooh. So we'll see if she'll play. She'll probably play a little bit, even if she doesn't like know life it, or maybe she'll like this one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But the thing I'm excited for is that they mentioned that they will have closed lobbies, proper closed lobbies, which I think means I should be able to use, that was the sound of my Steam, don't worry. I should be able to use hopefully a code that I could like drop in the chat so people could just drop in, so it's only chatters, not randos or something. Yeah, private lobbies codes. It looks like it's gonna be that. So I'm glad, because that's what I was really hoping for. I want it to be, if I'm trying to play with friends, I go to friends only. If I'm cool with community joining, I get a code. Boom, right? Like, I want that to be how it is. Sometimes games, the way they do their online everything, it just makes it so fucking hard. So fucking hard to do anything publicly on stream and have like chatters join, because it just opens it to literally everyone. There's usually no in between. You're running the benchmark? Yeah, I have to do that later. I have to do that later. To the server failing of the beta. Yeah, I didn't like how they did it with the beta initially, where you get in and it feels like an MMO properly, which I think is a cool idea as a default, but I think there should just be public and then private lobbies. There should be both of those things existing, and you should be able to choose, in my opinion. That's my thought. Surprised it took the hunters so long to realize they can pack an extra set of weapons. Well, they didn't have those mounts at the time, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna leave a note on the screen about my... I'm not gonna go into detail. I'm just gonna say mouth injured. Mouth injured streamer is doing her best to talk. Anyway. There we go. I was telling Chad earlier, but I have a thing. You have to come up with a badass reason your mouth is injured. Yeah. We can't go, I threw up. I threw up. We need a cooler reason. Just say you bit your tongue. I mean, it feels like... That's basically what it feels like. It feels like the equivalent of if I bit the side of my tongue with like my 3 back molars. It's like a very long area. Really hard, drew blood, and then that got infected. Like, that's how it feels, right? Where it's swollen and all that. But that's not what happened. But it feels the same, yeah. Pretty much. So I'm speaking in a way where I'm being really careful to like not touch my molars with my tongue. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to be so careful about it. But it's difficult. It's difficult, man. Drank poison and lived. Yeah. Yeah. An attempted poisoning. I don't know. It just, I can work through it. I can work through it. It just means I have to speak a little slower and be careful. Because if I am not careful, I will just like bite down on it. And that'll be fucked. I have really, really, really sharp molars. I don't know if you guys have this, but the points of my molars are like pointy. So whenever I have any irritation or if I bite my tongue or anything like that, I usually like I irritate the fuck out of everything in my own mouth because of how like pointy my molars are and all that. I do chew. I do. I don't grind my teeth at all. I don't know. Like if I go to feel them right now, I mean, yeah, my molars are just really, really sharp. They are. Your canines are pointed, but your molars are fairly flat. Yeah, for me, it's like a normal shaped molar. It's just that all of the little points are like pointy, right? Not like a nice slope or something. You have a single wisdom tooth that's so sharp if you lightly bite your cheek, it bleeds. That's the way like all of my molars are. When I eat, I have to be really careful while I'm chewing because if I chew too quickly and I'm kind of lazy with it, I will bite the inside of my mouth so easily. So I have to be like thorough. I have to mindfully chew. It's so bad. It's so bad. But then that also means when I'm talking and I have an issue going on in there, I gotta be really careful not to irritate things further. You bite your mouth all the time when eating. Yeah, if I'm not careful, it'll happen. It'll happen. Yeah, you hate when you bite your cheek and it swells and you bite it 6 times more. Ugh, it's the worst. It's the worst feeling. Yeah. I have something kind of like that on the side of my tongue right now. It fucking sucks, dude. So, I'm just doing my best to not make it worse. Doing my absolute best. I don't know, man. Sharp, edgy teeth. Yeah, ow, the edge. It's. I always have these issues. I remember my dentist at one point saying something, and he was like, if you want, I can. He was like, this is actually a recommendation for me if you want it. I can grind down the points. And I was like, I don't want to remove any amount of tooth ever. like I really just don't want to do that. But he was like, yeah, it's actually something that we do for people that like just don't grind their teeth and have not ground them down normally or anything. Like we just do that sometimes if they want it. And I was like, no, I'll just deal with it. Your sister had that done when she was little. It sounds like it's actually quite common. They don't grind down super far. They're just taking the edge off, you know. But no thanks. You're gonna hard pass on veneers. I don't like them. I don't like them a lot. It's so common now for people to get veneers, and I think if you have something wrong with a tooth and you want to replace one with a veneer, whatever, like, or not replace, but put a veneer on top of it, fine. But so many people with teeth that are totally fine keep replacing the tops with veneers or throwing them right on top, and it's getting bad, I think. Now, there's some ways of doing veneers where they don't have to grind down the outside of the tooth very much, and that is less bad, but I still don't like it. But in general, they're so obvious, and what I really don't like is a lot of people get veneers and they just do the top row of teeth. They tend to not do the bottom row, and a lot of the time they don't do all of their top teeth, right? They do the ones that are most visible. So they do canine to canine or something like that. And I find that it becomes really obvious when people are speaking, right? They're not just sitting there like in a photo. They're talking, and you can see the difference between how perfect and white and everything the top row is, and then the bottom row is like usually not even bad, just normal. But it makes the bottom row look bad because now there's a comparison, right? And I see that and I'm like, why? I don't get it. I really don't get it. And if you're going to pay the money for veneers, I'm sure you could pay the money to do like a normal whitening and some normal like correction or whatever. I don't know. It's like a mouthful of chiclets. Yeah. I understand it if you have a tooth shape that is just really unflattering and you want to just put something else in there, like things like that where you literally cannot make it better otherwise, I understand. But for most people, they just want whiter teeth. They just want whiter teeth, and they don't want any tiny bits of differentiation in angle or whatever. So they're just like, slap something on top. And I just feel like that's not really a good solution. I don't know. There are plenty of reasons to have them, but there are plenty of reasons to not have them as well. So I don't know, man. Viking, thank you for the tier 3. Thank you. You drink way too much coffee, be glaringly obvious. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, it becomes obvious. I don't know. Crest white strips work fine as long as you don't overuse them. Yeah, I think people are not good at being satisfied with things that don't happen immediately, things that don't happen quickly, and they don't want to put in the time to maintain. But also, a lot of the marketing strategy of veneers is, you could buy this many white strips and have to use them forever, and it'll cost you this much, or you could just get veneers and you never have to do anything, right? And they use that as a major point, a selling point, which makes sense. But also, no thank you. No thanks. A lot of people picking on naturally white color as well. Yeah, they pick a literal white instead of a kinda ivory, something that looks natural. It depends. So I've seen people where you would never know that they had veneers, right? Because they did go for a color that looks natural. And that's fine. Yeah, I used to work in an office. A doctor would most recommend the color match white, but most go to the brightest white and think that's better. Yeah. I know. It's because they hold up the line of the veneers with the different colors on them, and they point to one and go, you should do this, and then it's right next to one that's a little whiter, and it's hard for them to not be like, shouldn't I just go for that one, I don't know, man. I don't know. Brush your damn teeth if you want them to look maintained. Yeah, but at the same time, like some people in chat were saying their coffee intake is just high. I mean, you could brush your teeth all you want, but that is what it is. And then a lot of people had issues from what I've learned from talking to friends and everything. A lot of them that got into like teeth whitening later or whatever, a lot of them had bad habits when they were teenagers or younger. Either they weren't taught proper dental hygiene or they got lazy and didn't care. And then in their adult years, they were like, I should do this. But, the most important early years of keeping them nice and being preventative, it didn't work out like that for some people. So it sounds to me like a lot of people that I know have had that issue in the past. And yeah, even chat, like a lot of people are like, yep. And what can you do? You can get whitening treatments and things. You can do some stuff to help it, but depending on how bad it was, it might be too far gone for it to get past a certain point again. So, or yeah, depression. Oh my God. Yeah. One of the biggest symptoms, not symptoms, one of the biggest results of people being depressed is often, hygiene. They don't wash their hair often enough. They don't brush their teeth properly or often enough, etc., etc. And, certain things you can really bounce back from, others you can't. Or you only can to a small extent, and dental hygiene is one of those, right? So that's why when some people in their adult years have things going on, I'm like, I get it. Like, it's very understandable. Your dentist told you to use less whitening toothpaste. Apparently, it can wear down your gums. Yeah, I've heard a lot of conflicting things, and I don't know. I would have to research. I assume if a dentist says it, it's probably true, but you don't know. There's a lot that I can't tell with that. It's also what toothbrush you use. A lot of people have like an electric toothbrush, and they use that, and they really get up to their gums because they want to be good about it, but it just it just wears them down a lot. It can be bad. You didn't need to take care of your teeth much when you were little led to you now having only one tooth on top of your mouth you have to be aware of when you laugh and smile. Yeah. Oh, you almost never brushed your teeth for like 2 years in high school because of depression, and still your greatest regret, so many cavities to deal with now. Yeah, right, and you can't like undo those. You can get fillings and things, but the edges of those start to have issues again over time, sometimes, etc., etc. So it's rough. It's rough, man. That's why you're not getting an electric one. Okay. My recommendation is electric toothbrush still good. Just don't go crazy on the gums. Like, try to not the whole time, but try to not like, press into them constantly. Make sure you're really getting like the underside and the top side of the tooth more so. And then get a water pick. Get a water pick. It's the water flosser, or it doesn't have to be water pick, it could be any brand. But get one of those and use that to make sure you're getting the last of whatever. They're insanely good. Insanely good. Water flossers are crazy. Crazy. So, I would suggest that. And then, just don't go too crazy on the gums. Stay like mindful of it as you do it. I don't know. I remember a long while ago, I realized how much people just don't teach dental hygiene and how much parents don't seem to follow up on it, because so many of my friends had so many issues. But especially several of my friends who are autistic, I remember, as we're getting into adulthood, some of them asking questions when I said certain things and going, oh, how do I do that? Or like, why do we do this thing or whatever? And I remember like teaching several of my friends like dental hygiene because they were just unsure. They realized they didn't know something about it, or they felt like maybe their technique was wrong. And they were like, I brush my teeth, but I keep getting cavities. What's going on? I remember teaching several of them the same thing because I think without that repetition and that follow through, it didn't stick with them. This stuff doesn't come naturally, to everyone. So it just made me realize how much a lot of people learn things like this intuitively, or they absorb it from wherever instead of just knowing it, right? From the beginning, from their parents or something. I don't know. You're falling for this song. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. You had a water flosser when I suggested in the past. Yeah. It's still good to do normal flossing, but having it so that you get some of that done daily is good. And then I find if I use a water flosser, I'm more likely, once I'm already in that shit, being like, why don't I just go and do the full thing? Why don't I just go and do everything? Right? It's something about... It's the same way I trick myself into doing deep cleans. What I do is I commit to 5 minutes of cleaning my bathroom, or I say like, I'm just gonna clean my toilet. I'm just gonna clean the toilet. I'll put the stuff in the bowl, I let it sit, I come back, I scrub, whatever. And then after I do that, I'm like, well, I'm already here. I'll clean the whole counter. Let me get the shower too, right? Like once I'm in that mode, it's easier to get myself to keep doing it. And yeah, that's how I've been able to get all that going. A few people are saying Twitch is shitting itself. Looks fine from my end, so it's Twitch's end. Are the streams dying? If you hear me, type the number 1. I want to see how many people are fine. If they don't, well, how many of them do you think will type it not knowing? Okay, a good number of you are fine. 1 did die though. Okay. If you were lying when you typed 1, type the number 2. Interesting. I think is it just my stream, or if you go to another stream, do you have that? Probably U.S. East Virginia. That fucking node is cooked. I know, it keeps having issues. I mean, if it were me, I'd see something. So it tells me how many dropped frames I've got. It gives me a few things, right? It says frames missed due to rendering lag, and then skipped frames due to encoding lag, right? And then it tells me how many frames were being dropped via the network. It gives me a few of these things to be able to tell if it's me, and all of them are at 0. So, like, my end doesn't even recognize it, so you know 100% it's Twitch servers. 100%. Yeah, it's affecting other streamers right now, too. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Thanks, Twitch. I mean, it's really not Twitch. It's probably like, thanks Amazon, right? Thanks, AWS. Typical. Classic. It was just hiccuping for you guys? Okay. It was doing it with Zen earlier, too. Oh, okay, so it's maybe something that's been going on for a bit, not just like a right now thing. Makes sense. It happens. As long as it's not making the whole stream completely unwatchable, then we're chilling. And the good thing is, when it is some sort of issue on the server's end, usually what happens is the VOD is usually okay. The VOD is usually pretty stable. So as long as I have that, I'm chilling. I am chilling. Okay, hold on. I gotta answer one message. Okay, there we go. You need to refresh your browser a few times. Yeah. Well, hey. Who cares? The only thing I care about when Twitch is having little issues is it splitting my VOD entirely? That's the thing I care about. That's the thing that makes me be like, maybe I just won't stream for now and I'll try another day or something. Is when it like keeps crashing the entire stream and then you have to like reload in, whatever. It doesn't autoplay stuff for people. That kind of stuff. The mobile app is so messed up. How is the mobile app now? Has it been stable? I usually put people on my TV, and I use the mobile app to chat, but I don't actually watch them through the app. I'm just, again, using it for chat, right? Arcadia, thank you for the sub, and Break, thank you for the prime. The ads are still working fine. Oh, wow. Wow. That's been alright for you? Okay. Still explodes into a giant cloud of shit when you open it? Mine seems to work. It works. I just don't like it. Right? I just don't like it. What a coincidence. The ads are still fine. Well, I don't think the ads pull from the same location that the stream is coming from, so I'm not gonna like, you know. You know how it works. So you can examine the situation there. What, you watch VODs occasionally too? Yeah, there's actually a good number of VOD watchers. I saw someone, was it you or someone else asked earlier? They were like, I'm curious how many people actually watch VODs on Twitch. There's actually a good amount of VOD watchers. And I didn't worry about a YouTube VOD channel for so long because genuinely a lot of people would come here and be like, yeah, I've been catching up on the Twitch VODs. A lot of people in Discord would say that. And eventually I said, you know what? I just want to put them on YouTube so they don't expire, right? I just want to archive them. And that is finally caught up, so the VODs channel is now up to date. But, still. You watch VODs a bit. Yeah, I do have a good number of VOD watchers. So I archived them on YouTube. Um, and you know, a lot of those ones when I was archiving them, they were just being put out at like a crazy high speed, right? A frequency. I was putting out like 3 VODs a day to try and get it caught up. I wanted it to be like recent stuff, all the old stuff to be fully caught up. So finally it is. And there's some VODs that people watch like a normal video. We cut out just like me and Amelie chatting for 2 hours. It has 8.4 thousand views in 5 days, which is like pretty damn good. So there's interest on YouTube for people wanting to just watch the whole thing instead of like a 10-minute recap. So it's fine. I'll post them. As long as I feel like there's a good number of people that want to just sit there and watch them there, then I'm chilling. Is there a reason to archive them yourself and not stream both at the same time? Yes. For me, number one, I want them on a separate VODs channel. And I want them to be in a videos tab. I don't want them to be going into a live stream algo. I want them to be going into a standard video algo. That's number one. Number two, a lot of larger streamers will get up there and be like, you should have people watch you on multiple platforms. You should multicast or simulcast. And Moist Critical did a video even where he was like, look at how much money I've made off of some VODs. You know, because I'm simulcasting and like there's no reason for me to not do this. It's free money, blah, 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 blah. I personally think that only makes sense after you've already grown. And grown big. I think even at my size, it doesn't make sense. And the reason why I think that is because when you are live on multiple platforms, you split people out. There are people who are going to choose to be on one platform versus the other. And when you're not in a place where you have like 500,000 plus followers yet, the most important metric, genuinely, like if we're just talking about numbers, the most important metric is followers per hour. This is something people don't realize. They always think it's CCV and it's this and it's that. But the most important thing is followers per hour when you don't already have a lot of followers. You want to build that base up of people who even know who you are and have clicked that button. If you've already built that up, then simulcasting is fine because people already follow you on these platforms and it's fine. You'll be all right. But when you're trying to grow and you don't have a big follower base, a lot of your streams are not just to sit there and collect your ad money or whatever. It's to be found rather by new people. And the way to do that is to funnel everyone into one location and focus on that one location. It's the same way a lot of streamers say when you first start out, it's good to not do variety and to actually just focus on one game and really, really go hard on that and then branch out later. I see it as the same thing, essentially. It makes a bigger difference than people realize. And if you have, let's say your CCV is 1,000 and you have 150 people that like watching you on YouTube when you stream on YouTube, if 80 of those were going to come over to your Twitch stream, but now they won't because they're just going to prefer YouTube because they're streaming on both at the same time, that's 80 fewer people who are watching on the main channel. And then that means that your CCV is a little lower. You're not as high up in the categories you want to be in. And you're getting discovered less. And again, when you're on the grind set, you need new people to find you. You know, like you need that because you don't have the reach normally. So, yeah, you're splitting the pie, and you don't want to be. So I think it makes a lot of sense for someone like him to say that because he's already huge and people already know who he is, right? So that's fine. But unless you're already at that point, and I don't mean like semi-large, I mean you have to be huge for that to make sense. If you're in like my position where you're still like, I still feel like I'm growing. I have a brand that's solid. I have a lot of people that show up to the streams. Yeah, it goes up and down, but overall, like it's in a great spot. But I'm doing all that with not nearly as many followers as a lot of other people that also have similar viewership, right? And those people would have an easier time simulcasting, getting some more out of it than me. right? So that's kind of why I hope that doesn't make sense, but that's why I personally like will always post to a VODs channel and not just stream at the same time for the easy posting, because I think it just splits everyone out. I'd rather them be in one spot. Also, I don't want to read two chats, but that's a simpler answer. Ren, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, I just want to read one chat. That's the other thing, is I'm still like, we're still building the community, and it's really good and really solid. But I think the best way to build that is to have everyone be in one location together. And if I put you guys into multiple chats, then I'm building like little subsets, which I don't want to split the community either. So yeah. There's other little reasons, but you know. That was Ludwig's take on it as well, that splitting the audience caused you to grow slower. Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's like it's an end game strat, right? I'm in mid game. Okay. And being in mid game, I shouldn't really simulcast, but if I were in end game, then it would make sense. Right? That's really all it is. And when you're in end game, you can do so much differently than early and mid game. Right? That's really all it is. One of the people you watch a lot recently went multi-stream, and following both chats feels like a nightmare. The quality of chat from YouTube also seems rough. Well, that's the other thing. So I don't hate YouTube viewers, but on average, a lot of people that came in that were just YouTube live viewers, their vibes were not what I wanted for my community. Not enough for me to kick them out, but enough for me to be like, this doesn't feel like my community. Right? Yeah, hate is very extreme. But, well, I know if I say anything negative, anyone will be like, she hates them. But, you know, I want the Twitch community. And if those people want to come over here and see this chat and then kind of code switch a little bit and get into it, like, that's totally fine. But if I built up a YouTube audience, they would be their own thing and they'd keep that vibe, you know? It's just, eh. Ludwig as an endgame person too backtracked and agreed that dual casting for him was much better and lucrative, but it's Ludwig. Yeah, it's the same thing I'm saying, right? That makes sense. Yeah. When you watch the occasional VOD on YouTube for live streams, I almost exclusively do that on Twitch. Yeah, I mean, I have some friends that stream on YouTube, so fuck it. Like, I'll watch them there. It's all cool. But it's just better off when you pick one, realistically. It's better off. And then again, after you're huge, then do whatever. Then you can do whatever, man. Do you like your YouTube comments at least? Yeah, I do. Because the thing is, a lot of YouTube comments sections are like really bad cesspools. But I feel like my comment sections are pretty alright. Pretty good. Most people are pretty reasonable. I want to make sure I have an environment where people feel like they can get in there and disagree. Actually, I think this, blah, blah, blah. But I don't want people being assholes. So very simply, we only really delete stuff if we could tell that there's bad faith, bad intent, blah, blah, blah. That stuff gets removed. But everything else, you know, as long as people are willing to have like measured, normal discussions, it's fine. And sometimes if I see someone, they're almost getting a little negative, but you can tell they're trying hard to like keep the emotion down. They're just trying to have the conversation. I'll often reply to those so they see that I'm like open to the conversation. I'm not like, oh, you disagree, get out, you know? So long as they're able to approach it as a conversation, not like a yelling match, right? But yeah, my comment sections are pretty good. Pretty good. So do you feel most Twitch chats are the same, whereas different YouTubers can have very different chats? I think it's all across the board. I think it just depends on who you watch. I don't think it's platform specific. The difference is just the emote usage, honestly. For sure. That's really it. 3 emote meta. That comes from corpo VTubers having that rule that you can go ahead and spam emotes in the chat, but don't spam more than 3 at a time. That way it's not like, you know, like 10 in a row. It's not too much visual noise. So they all do 3, yeah, like that. And it's like, it's cute, but also it makes it so that I can tell who the YouTube chatters are, because when they come here and they just do 3 emotes every time, I'm like, you're from YouTube. Me when I triple the combo. it's I don't know, it's crazy. Shared chat has taught you that chat culture varies wildly. I forget. So when I go into someone's chat, it's very different, but I'm there, I'm existing, I'm code switching, it's fine. When I share chat here with another chat and I watch you guys mix together, that's when it hits me how different the chats are. That's when it's really like apparent. Shows chat is like a different world. I think there are some chats I don't want to share with sometimes because I'm like, oh, our people are gonna scare them. But I think it's actually really funny when this chat and then like a really nice one with a lot of girls like Shoto or Saikuno's chat like makes. It's so funny. We were playing Lethal and the 2 of them shared their chats and then you guys were in there. And the emotes were so fucking funny. Oh, but the thing is, like, their communities were just laughing, you know, like they were just like, I don't know what's going on, but it's funny. It was great. It's a shared chat with Moon. I feel like actually you guys would get along. That's it wouldn't be as funny as you think. It would just go so fast. His chat goes so fast. Which is funny as hell. Joel chatters are so anxious. They really are. It's like they go to him to be decisive for them so they don't have to deal with like the anxiety of choosing things, right? It's really funny. Said you're too old to understand the emotes. I'm sure there are plenty of people here who are very old that understand the emotes. You just gotta get with the times. You just gotta get with the times. Be another few thousand people calling him bald. Guys, before I became friends with Moon, well before that, if I would check my stats of who I share viewership with or what streams people come from, one of the only people on that list that was not a VTuber was Moon. Okay? Before I even knew him, so many of you I already knew were Moon chatters. So it's like... So if something happened and we shared chat, I'm sure multiple of you would be fine. Most of you really would be totally fine. You'd be all right. Same thing with Mike. Same thing with Mike. You were one of the people who contributed to that stat. A lot of you have always used Moon emotes, like, since forever. And obviously the data's skewed because he's a larger streamer, right? So there's always going to be overlap with larger streamers more than anything, but still, that was always the case. Always the case. Let me actually look at it now. I haven't looked at that in forever. I try to look at my analytics really sparingly so I don't ever get into the zone of like, I gotta check every day. Yeah, we got... It's Moon and Saikuno every time. Every time. That was really after like the RP era, but a lot of them have stayed. The fuck is that emo? Oh yeah, that's the the fucking Mike Link emote. I introduced you to Moon and Mike. Yeah. Gotta spread the love. Spread the love. Hi Moon. Moon, we were talking about your chat. And people were joking about what fucking, like, what shared chats are the worst. And, like, when we shared chat with Saikuno, how it was pretty cursed, how, like, the chatters were so different. And someone was like, what about Moon? And I was like, I think you guys are the same. I don't think there's a difference, to be honest. But we definitely had that with Mike's chat. Anytime Mike and I have streamed together, I realize we have the same chat. Literally the same, and you guys just code switch. But the number of usernames I see between the two that are the same fucking people, I'm like, why are you guys code switching? You could be the same there and here, and it won't matter. God, I hate his emotes so much. What the fuck is J Mike bald slap? Can you gigantify those emotes? Can you do that for animated ones? Is that possible? Can you? Oh, look at it. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's awful. Oh, I hate that emote. God, I hate that. What is this guy yelling at? Hi, I'm a new VTuber. Any tips? I don't know how to upload my VTuber model to Twitch from VTube Studio. Go Google it. Figure it out. If you can't Google it and figure out yourself, you're never going to make it. That's my advice. Skill issue, Google it, please. It's very simple, I promise. It's so simple. You can do it if you believe, pal. Trust and believe. I will say, if you want me to help you with your specific issue and you donate me $50, I will directly talk about your specific issue on stream if I know how to fix it. But unless you pay me directly, I won't do it. No thanks. Where did the Mike being bald joke come from? I cannot track it down. I don't know, because he's not bald. Though he did... he did say to me one time, he was like picking at his hair a little bit. And he was like, no, I feel like I might be thinning. I might be thinning over here. I might be thinning over there. And I was like, you're not really thinning that much. He was trying to convince me that he was thinning. He's a male Twitch streamer. He must be bald. Yeah. Comes from Joel. Oh, true. But Joel calls everyone bald, so I don't know. $50 for a pro consultation fee is actually kind of low. No. I will take the fee, and I'm not gonna talk about it for an hour. I'll take the fee, and then if I know off the top of my head how to fix their problem, I'll mention it. That's how that works. Why did that not play? TTS? I gotta reload the thing. There we go. He said it's a spiritual baldness, boss. Ask Joey. Spiritual baldness, huh? Also spiritually bald. The grave stuff stove. I can't speak today. My tongue is like dying. The things at the top right, new chatter, are the factions and their current points. And if you have the Discord, you can read the full thingy on, the detail on that. But there are 3 factions. You join one, and one wins every month. TLDR. Speaking of which, we have more and more mini games. We always have things that you can play in the Discord, games that we're making, quite literally making, to earn points. So if you're not an artist and you're not giving me art for it all the time, thanks. Please. Wow. Thanks so much. So cool. But if you're interested, we made like Mabagachi, for example. The dev team's been cooking on little things. Said you guys can earn points without having to, do anything crazy creative or any of that. You love the quest board? Me too. Actually, I like it because I like that the mods can put up quests, right? So they can get that all together and give you your your tasks. What does counting count? Numbers. Numbers. You go in there and you type a number, and you have to type the next number in the line. You have to +1 the last one, and if you fuck it up, you're an idiot and everyone hates you. That's how it works. What did we say our record was? It was 3,700-ish. I think it was like just above 37 something. Something like that. We're bad at counting. That counting chat, I am surprised it has not gone higher. I'm really surprised. I've seen it get like real bad. I've seen 280 and then someone goes 287 and it fucks up. It's bad. Okay, the bot does break. The bot does break, to be fair. It does. You messed up and shit yourself. Good. Good. It should be easy, man. It should be simple. Yeah, ghost. It's just a no. A lot of people don't know they can't count twice in a row too. Yeah, you say 370, and then the next guy goes, "Me too, 370." I don't get it. I don't know why they do that, but they keep doing that. I see people do it all the time. Man. I don't know how that happens. People must be doing this as the last thing they do before they go to bed. They must be opening the app in bed, 3 a.m., half passed out, goes to counting chat. Oh, let me just add one more before I sleep. They see 480 and they go, 480, and hit enter, go to sleep, you know, unaware of their crimes and transgressions. That has to be it. I just can't imagine how it's anything else. I really can't. I really can't. I do stuff like that all the time, though. I'm constantly concerned that, and I'm really glad Twitter hid likes, because something I'm always concerned I'm gonna do is I'll scroll through Twitter sometimes, and I'll start, like, kind of passing out a little bit as I'm doing it. I just go and I check, and I'm like, hey, did anyone do anything that I didn't see? And I'll just reply to some stuff maybe, or not at all. And I'll often check what is trending to find memes, to find things, whatever. And I'll read through. And there have been many times, thank God they have a second round of dialogue that you have to confirm to retweet certain things. Especially like quote retweeting and stuff. But I'm always concerned I'm gonna retweet something crazy just because like I'm like passing out and I accidentally like tap the button and I won't notice. And so far I haven't, but you know. I'm like always concerned that I'm gonna do that. And then it's not like that I agree with the thing, it's more like I'm just reading it. But you know, you're scrolling through and you're watching, like, you're reading all this stuff about like Kanye and his wife at the Grammys, right? And you're like, holy shit, that's so crazy. And then in the middle of it is like some really political tweet about it. And like if you're passing out, you could accidentally retweet that one, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, one of these days I'm gonna retweet something insane and people are gonna be like, what? I don't know, man. No thanks. No thanks. I'm sure you guys would know because like I never talk about any of those like things, and I have rules that I'm not allowed to and that you're not allowed to and blah blah blah, right? But still, people on Twitter are gonna be like, huh? I hate when these VTubers start talking about this stuff. Yeah, unhinged Kanye replies, yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you ever see me do something like that, I probably was like half passed out in bed and tapped the button without realizing. I don't know, man. That being said, did you see when Kanye stood there all cool and shit? Because he seems to think that him standing there is really cool. And then his wife was like, here's my outfit at the Grammys. And she took her coat off and she was just naked. She had the equivalent of a stocking with no color, like a see-through stocking on her body, sort of. Yeah, her whole hoo-ha, her whole coochie was visible. Yeah, was it one of those sheer dresses? It was, if you didn't have your glasses on, you would think she was actually naked. Like, the sheer fabric that was there was, like, barely visible. That was real and not an edit. That was real. Talk about a Kardashian or the new one? No, well, they say the new one, but I don't think anyone's confirmed that they're actually married. They just say that. That's disgusting. Where, though? Just look up Kanye on Twitter, dude. You'll find it. You'll see it. But why? I don't know. Yeah, she pulled the hem down to adjust it. Yeah, Nomad, that's what a lot of people are saying, and I don't know. No, they didn't get kicked out. That was a rumor. That was a rumor that they got kicked out. So yeah, this isn't the first time, is what I was gonna say. This is something they seem to do. So there are a lot of different camps. There are a lot of different camps. There are some people that are like, is she okay? This poor woman, he's parading her around like this. There are also a lot of people that are like, I think she's into this, and that's the point. Or he's into it, or they're both into it, and that's the point. This could also just be a marketing stunt, and she's totally fine being naked. Therefore, they're going to do it every time because, you know, having the amount of money that they've got is not enough, clearly. Right? Right? I think that's the real answer. It gets people to talk. Well, I mean, it's so carefully crafted, right? It's not just, ooh, she shows up and she's naked. The fact that people are like concerned for her, there are people that are like, is this a kink? There are people who are like, is she okay? Is he using her, making her do this? Whatever, like, is this humiliation? Blah, blah, blah. Like, all these different, is it this, is it that? And the questions mean that people keep talking in circles about it. And it's right, it's just more press. His name gets said more. And then he, of course, he posts on Instagram and he's like, my wife is the most Googled human on this earth right now. And I'm like, this guy wants to be like the king of the universe. Like, it's so stupid. Dude wants to be on the leaderboard. That's literally all it is. And people are sitting there and they're like, oh my God, is she okay? Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, brother, she's got money. She could get out if she needed to. I'm pretty certain. And if she can, it's not your, if she can't, let's say, it's not your concern as a random individual to worry about her over the people around yourself. You know what I'm saying? She has big money herself. She's not just someone that he found randomly that was poor and then blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know. I don't know. You should walk around with your hoo-ha out more. You gotta put the sheer body stocking on. No, you need... Thing is, like, if anyone else did this and they weren't super ultra mega rich, they'd just get kicked out. They'd get a public indecency charge. So what is happening, man? Money is crazy. Someone should do something type stuff. Yeah, someone should do something. Someone should help her. They're sitting there typing that instead of, like, going out and buying something and giving it to a local food kitchen. Food kitchen? Soup kitchen. Redundant. Or going to, like, you know, any place where they could volunteer to help anyone. They'd rather sit there and do that instead of simply calling a family member that they haven't called in a while. You know? Someone should help her. I don't know, man. And the thing is, like, she could be needing help, maybe, but, like, you can't do shit. You know? It's not worth getting, like, super, super stressed over. Just Google it. She was, like, legit naked. That's crazy. Yeah. No, it was straight up. Straight up, she wore nothing and then took the equivalent of a completely sheer stocking with no pigmentation to it. So it was the same, like, just her skin color showing through, and put a little bit of that on her body and was like, I'm not naked, though. You know? Yeah, concerned about her? Donate to your local women's shelter. There are plenty of women in way worse situations. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Well, they only care when the woman looks like she's, like, mentally sane. And she looks clean. That's when they care. When they see a woman on the street who, like, looks dirty and is clearly in a really bad situation and maybe is, like, a little schizophrenic or something, you know, has some sort of issue that's keeping her out there, they suddenly don't care. So that's why I'm just, like, I'm a little, you know, I'm a little jaded on all that stuff. When someone's like, someone help her, I'm like, okay. Where's this energy? Where's that energy everywhere else? You know what I mean? Kanye's been ultra cooked for years now. Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, he's probably my guess. My guess. Obviously, we don't know, but my guess is he's probably mentally unwell in some way, shape, or form. That could be a mix of pre-existing issues. That could be a mix of maybe being emotionally unwell. Also being ultra rich and having nothing but like yes people around you probably doesn't help. You know? So it's probably not just one thing, but you know. You know. I only care about women in distress if they're gorgeous and naked. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it feels when I look at that situation, right? I'm like, what about like that person in a sleeping bag on the side of the street? Like they don't, no, nothing. I don't know. Much easier to be mad online than to do anything to actually help. That's the case with everything too. Whenever anyone's outraged at a situation, I know in general most people won't do anything because they're relatively okay. They'll be complaining online and they'll be like, you know, we're not going to get political right now, guys, so just don't give specifics. But you know what I'm saying? When like people are like, the whole world is dying, everyone's going crazy, we're going to hell in a handbasket kind of attitude. But so long as people live in relatively okay conditions, they're just not going to do anything. If we're being realistic, I'm not talking about whether they should or not, but like they're just, yeah, relative comfort. I think the biggest thing that gets people actually doing shit is like when they're hungry. You know, like once people get hungry, that's when they'll do something. Or like if it affects a family member of theirs, right? Like if a family member of theirs was in the same situation that Kanye's supposed wife is in, then they might do something. But if it's not like happening right around them and they're relatively comfortable and their family members are relatively comfortable, they're probably not going to do anything. They're just going to type online and be like, ooh, I hate this. You know, which is a little sad. But that's how it is. That's how it is. Yeah, survival instincts. I wonder why people feel so good about typing like an emotional outrage when they're not even going to do anything. That's something I always like didn't understand because I don't get any satisfaction out of doing that personally. I don't get any satisfaction out of it, so I never really understood that. And I have plenty of friends that also like don't get it, the gratification. Yeah, I don't feel that though. I don't know. No amount of venting about a problem online or highlighting an issue or whatever that I'm not actually going to do anything about, etc., makes me feel any better. So that's something that I just never got it. I never got it, never understood it. I don't know. I don't know. Virtue signaling existed before the internet. Oh, absolutely. It always did. Yeah. Absolutely. Uninterested in rich people with their junk out. Why aren't you interested? You need to Google her so Kanye can post on his Instagram about it. You need to Google her now. You know what? Here's my conspiracy theory. This is my big old guess. He loved having Kim Kardashian be his wife because the two of them are two of the most controversial, big known people with their names known, right? Everyone knows Kim Kardashian's name, correct? So my guess is when she finally left him or they ended things or however that went down, I think he wants that back and knows that he can't have that with Kim. So I think he's trying to create another one. That's my guess, genuinely. And not that he wants her to be exactly like her. He just wants a woman to power couple with who is also the most whatever in the world, right? So him posting like, my wife is the most Googled woman on this planet Earth right now. I think him saying that is just completely outing that's what he wants, like, he's so hyper focused on it that that's the only thing he cares about, right? That's my guess. She also does look like him a bit, yeah, in the way she does things. But that could also just be him having a type. I don't think he cares about whether or not she looks like his previous wife. I think that's just his type, personally. I don't know. Yeah, Beetle, I agree. Same body shape and all. Yeah, and like, it makes you wonder, is it because he likes that and he wants that? Is it because he is still trying to get at her in some kind of way? You know, like, some people are crazy like that. Like, when someone leaves them, they cannot give it up. And a lot of the time when people are like weird, they will do this. That's a pattern that has been seen a lot. A lot, especially in famous people, them trying to like date someone that looks like their last ex, and then the media attention on it, they're like, ooh, I really got them, or, you know, something insane like that. Did Kim ever end up with that comedian? I don't know. I don't keep up on it too much. It's just every now and then I hear about a thing, I'm like, oh, hey, there they go. But I don't know. I read about whatever headlines the most when it comes to that kind of stuff. He could be focused on his music and just be lauded by the music industry and fans. What he's doing now is certainly a choice. Well, the thing is, I think no matter what, Kendrick would wipe the floor with him. So I don't think he could, personally. I think if he's not number one, he's not satisfied. And I think he probably knows that if he focuses on music, he's not going to be number one. Because people like Kendrick exist. And there are plenty of people out there who are doing really great as well. And I think he's not going to be satisfied being okay. I don't think he wants to be that old man legacy award kind of thing. He sees that as like, oops, I'm getting like grandpa zoned, you know? So I think he probably just can't handle that he's, you know, not the youngest, the newest, the best. And it doesn't even have anything to do with being young ever. Like, it's also just whoever's the one right now, and it's Kendrick. Completely agree. Kendrick has become a Kanye replacement. Yeah, and like his old music, Kanye's old stuff was good, but at some point, I mean, it just fell off. It just fell off. That's all. And occasionally he would make something where you'd be like, oh, there it is, and then mid song it would just not be it. Like, you know, he'd have a verse and you'd be like, okay, and then he'd keep talking and you're like, oh no. So I think he knows. He doesn't want to accept it. That's my guess. Yeah, we can analyze them all we want. In the end, we got no clue apart from the persona we see in the media. Exactly. It's just fun to sit there and think about. Yeah, Kendrick got a Grammy for a diss track. Isn't that nuts? Ooh, you want him to start beef with Doechii? Oh no. If he did, he would die. If he did, it'd be over. I think I think that's why he chose Taylor Swift, right? Because the Swifties are crazy. But at the end of the day, Taylor is going to be like, I'm going to take the high road. And I'm not going to tear him down like that. Or she'll say like one thing. She'll be like, you stink in a song. And everyone will be like, ooh, she told him. She's so crazy. You know? Like, God, I wish he'd go after Doechii. Dude, he'd fucking die. Yeah, he thought she would be an easy target. Exactly. But the thing is, her like standing up to someone is very like Hallmark movie in brand. So his type of fan base doesn't see it as anything like actually like good. But if he went after fucking like Kendrick or Doechii, he would die. It'd be over. You want him to start streaming TFT? I don't think he could handle not being like highly ranked. I don't think he could do it. I just really don't. I think it's sad. Ye put out some of the most revolutionary albums. College Dropout was so fucking insane for its time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like his old stuff was genuinely incredible, but some people have their prime and it's okay to step back and be like, I'm not in my prime, I'm coasting now. Some people can keep bringing it back. I think he's just he's too lost in the sauce. And then like we said, like I think he's personally just unwell in some ways, whether it's emotional or mental or whatever. He's just clearly unwell, and I think that will always hold him back from being able to ever do that again. It just, things like that tend to get worse in adulthood. They don't get better unless it's only an emotional issue. Then it can get better. But when it's a mental issue, you work with what you have. But certain things, there's no way. There's no way. So I don't know. Wasn't he bipolar? I don't know. I think I remember something a while back about either him saying he was bipolar or Kim saying he's bipolar. It might have been his former wife talking about it, but I don't know. And a lot of people say a lot of things, so who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, if he played TFT, he'd probably get boosted. Oh, has he openly stated it? Yeah, well, who would have thought? Yeah, I think stuff like that, people that I know that have been bipolar or are bipolar currently, it seems to vary, but a lot of folks that I've known throughout my life have gotten worse over time. It's just gotten worse over time. There's some that have seemed to just plateau, just keep it where it is and really work on it. But I've seen so many people degrade in their emotional state and mental state as they've gotten older. So, I don't know the stats on it, but at least in my personal experience, like I've witnessed a lot of older adults, really like going through it. So it's hard for me to believe that it's like easy to be creative, do all that. He said in a song he stopped taking all of his bipolar meds. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, even when you have good meds for it, depending on what you're on, a lot of them just kind of numb you. So I can't imagine being able to be a creative and be a performer while on some of those things. Again, it depends on what they put you on, but I've seen several people on bipolar medications that just, I mean, they're just a shell, right? They're just a husk. And they're able to process things. They feel a certain way, but the way they act outwardly feels very like empty, Or you looking at them, you think they feel empty. And it seems like it just kind of numbs a lot of emotion. So I think with a lot of that, like I can't imagine trying to be a rapper, right? And trying to record and perform and put emotion into your voice and put a lot of thought and effort into these lyrics and have it come out good when you're on those kinds of medications, right? So that's why I think like for him, it just straight up won't be possible. But then if he's not on his medications and he's bipolar, I mean, you were told it's a potential problem when you started taking SSRIs. Yeah, it seems to affect some people differently, right? So some people will take things like that and they're fine, and then others, it like really numbs them. So it's one of those things where if you're one of the latter group, then I feel like you're just fucked if you're creative, right? I don't know. You went from being emotionally dead in your teens to an energy vampire in your 30s. Hell yeah, you should rap about it. You should drop an album, dude. Name historic artists that have zero mental issues. Many of them. They're just not as weird creatures to look at. For sure. Their levels of manic that some people say contribute to really great art, music, and work. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of artists that are clearly like, you see them in certain moments and you're like, wow, this person's like really, really on their manic shit. And it's, if those people have good support systems, it's fine. But some really don't. And you see them like, you feel like you're just watching someone's breakdown as you're listening to their music, as you're watching them perform. You're just literally watching a person's breakdown. Which is very, without downplaying how awful it is, it's very cool to watch. It's such a thing, right? Like most people, that sort of thing isn't public. That's something they do at home and maybe the people around them see it. So it's such a weird outlier case to see an artist do that. Hi Ushi, guys. Ushi's fine. You don't have to get paper at Ushi. She gets the pass. How you doing? How you doing? The God honoring way. Did you do you guys know that reference? It's from there's this YouTube channel of these two girls that are like very Christian or very Mormon. I think they're very Christian. And one of their videos was how to wear makeup in a God honoring way. It's like they're like ultra Christian, and it's them like talking about how to basically they're trying to not say this. They're trying to appear really nice, but they're trying to say don't look like a hoe, but they don't know how to say that, and they can't say that word because that would be, oh good heavens, you know. They're like walking Hallmark cards. So it's it's one of the funniest video titles ever. And that video, I remember a while back, there were some drag queens that watched it and were talking about it. And I feel like the video got so much attention after that, right? After that whole thing happened, and how to wear makeup in a God honoring way. You think it was Mormon? Maybe. I think they were maybe Baptist. I don't remember. But they were trying to say a lot of things that were just like these weird copes. I don't know. Never heard of anyone being described as a walking Hallmark card. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it nicely. Right? How else can I say it nicely about them? They're very bland. No seasoning, right? I don't know. They're just, it's one of those things where that fucking video will never be. It's I don't even care about the video. I just like the title. I love the title. In a God honoring way. Unseasoned, yeah. Yeah, because the thing is, there are people of all kinds, and those people have flavor, and there are people of all kinds that don't have flavor, so you know what I'm saying. You thought it was a meme to you only. No, I know. That's one of my favorite memes. I had a friend, it was a long while ago, but she was going out, and she was like, what do you think of this outfit? She was like wearing it, sending me pictures, and she was going, I like it, but I feel like it's a bit much. And I was like, you really got to learn to wear that dress in a God honoring way. Okay, you got to put some tights on. And she was like, shut the hell up. Me and my friends, we'll say it all the time. Would Jesus let you wear that? Would Jesus let you out of the house? Oh, it's so good. It's a wonderful quote. Anyway, we're gonna play a video game. I want to play a video game, and I don't want to chat for 3 hours first. We've talked long enough. I want to play it because later we're gonna play a different game, so I want to make sure we give this plenty of time. Wild Sag. Soon. Tomorrow night? 10 Eastern, question mark? 11 Eastern? Somewhere around there. That's when the beta opens, right? I want to say that's the time. Something like that. I'm excited, though. I'm excited. Okay, let's open some things. Let's open some stuff. I'm gonna open this game. And I'm gonna hope it doesn't blow up my computer. It shouldn't. I don't think it's that hefty of a game. Let me see. I don't know if the graphics go crazy, like if the grass is gonna lag my computer. We'll see. Alright, let me turn off the music. Is this a controller game? I want to say it's not. Accepting all their stuff. Settings. Let's see if I feel choppy.